Hello students, today I shall continue with a discussion of class 10. And that in the last video we discussed about the peasants revolt, and also which were being initiated from the revolt of 1857, and the peasant revolts through rice mill they have initiated to fight against the British government through People's Assembly. So places by places, the peasants of various villages, of various districts, of various communities together, they came together to fight against the British through the revolt. So in this way we will start the first revolt that has started in a place in Nagaon districts. In Nagaon district there is a village called Phulaguri or Phulguri, that we can define it, that we can say it, Phulguri or Phulaguri. So here in Phulguri village, the peasants of that village, they attacked the British administration. When they attacked the British administration, so that event is known as Phulaguridhawa. The name of the place is Phulguri, and the event that occurred during that time against the British, the event of the revolt of the peasant, is known as Phulaguridhawa. The name of the place is Phulguri, and the name of the event is called as Phulaguridhawa. So don't think that Phulaguridhawa is a name of a place. Phulguri, name of a place, and Dhawa is an event, that is Phulaguridhawa is the event. So it was first revolt which was started for the first time in Assam by the exploited peasants against the British policy of economic exploitation. You see, the British were exploiting the Indian people by various means, but the Indian people were struggling against the British for only one cause, that is the cause of economic exploitation. The British exploited it in a various manner, but only one cause they suffered a lot, that is economic exploitation. And through this, located near Nagaon, present Nagaon district, there is a village which was inhabited by the Tiwa ethnic community. The name of the village is Phulaguri. It still exists. The village still exists. Ethnic community who survived on the commercial cultivation of poppy. The Tiwa ethnic community in Phulguri village, they survived by cultivating a crop, commercial crop, that is poppy. So what is a poppy? Poppy is a kind of seed they used to grow, and from that seed, from that flower, they used to extract the latex, and that latex is used to manufacture intoxicants like bhang and like drugs. In local language we call as afim. It is a kind of paste, and that it is further sterilized. This kind of business still exists in here. That paste, that latex, when it dried up, they used to sterilize that one, they distillize that one to bring out some powder like substance, and that powder is the brown sugar that we call as, or drugs that we call. So in those times it was a commercial cultivation, and they used to sell their product for their livelihood. When the British government began to sell opium, but not by buying from them, they used to import their own opium, and they used to sell in their own shops, which was extracted from the poppy seeds. These peasants were naturally infuriated. Opium means a kind of drugs, intoxicant, which has been extracted from the poppy seeds, from the poppy. In 1861, the British government completely banned the cultivation of poppy in Assam, in Phulguri. Okay. This angered the Tiwa ethnic community. The Tiwa community thought that the British were selling poppy, but the Tiwa communities were not allowed to cultivate the poppy. And more so because the selling of opium by the British government continued, and the British government continued the selling of opium. From where they used to get it, they are importing the poppies, the opium, from different places, not from Assam. The British administration's decisions adversely impacted upon the economic condition of the community. So when the community were not able to sell their products, cultivate their products, so the economic condition deteriorated, ruined. Another news that made round, and another news that what the British were planning to impose or fix tax on Tamil Pan. Tamil Pan, do you know? Tamil means Erica nut, the supari that we used to consume, and from the shop we used to buy the pan, and almost our mouth are red and we were spitting here and there, making the area dirty everywhere. That is Erica nut and betel leaves, pan. With pan and betel Erica nut we used to consume that one. Also, as soon as the news of banning poppy cultivation spread, and this infuriated the ethnic communities of the Phulaguri village. About more than 1,500 peasants in September 1861 from various villages from adjoining areas, they decided to organize a rice mill, and they ultimately organized the rice mill, and in that rice mill they took a decision to oppose the decision of the government. In the mill it was decided that they would submit a petition to the deputy commissioner. Petition means an application, written application to the deputy commissioner, requesting the removal of the ban of poppy cultivations and not to fix any tax on Tamil Pan. At that time, Deputy Commissioner of Nagaon, his name was Herbert Scones. He, instead of showing any sympathy towards the public, he misbehaved with them. To protest against it, the public held rice mill for 5 consecutive days. And here, whenever a meeting is being held for 5 consecutive days, during this time, hundreds of people, thousands of people start gathering, and it may form a chaotic places. It may form chaotic in that mill, in that rice mill, in that assembly. Another event was that about 1,000 strong peasants who gathered on the first day were mostly armed with bamboo stick, lathi. In the following day, again about 4,000 people had gathered, and in this way the incoming of the people were increasing. So Deputy Commissioner Scones sent his assistant commissioner Lieutenant Singer to the meeting to discuss with the people and to inquire about the objectives of the meeting. One Jati Kalita, in those time, among that group, among the peasants, a person, Jati Kalita, he was also a farmer, poppy cultivator. He explained on behalf of the public that since the local authorities had not shown any sympathy towards the demand of the peasants, namely to remove the ban of poppy cultivation and not to fix on Tamil Nadu, they were now planning to approach the higher authorities. Suppose if the lower authorities are not commuting, lower authorities are not accepting their request, their petition, then the peasants were deciding, they were discussing to go for the higher authorities to express their grievance. So at that time, Lieutenant Singer, who was an assistant commissioner, Lieutenant Singer, was sent by Deputy Commissioner Herbert Scones. He became very excited and ordered the people to leave immediately, the premise immediately. Moreover, he also ordered his sepoy to snatch away the bamboo sticks carried by the peasants. The peasants were carrying bamboos, and that bamboos were being ordered by the assistant commissioner to be snatched by his sepoys. While this tug of war, when the bamboo were being snatched by the sepoys, it broke out into a riotic situation, and one Babu Kaibatra, a fisherman from Kahigar Mouza, struck Singer on the head with his stick and fell him to the ground. The beating on his head was so hard, Lieutenant Singer immediately fell off, and the other peasants also joined this Babu Kaibatra beating up Lieutenant Singer, and at that spot Singer died. And when Singer died, his dead body was thrown into the Kolong River. The police force that had accompanied Singer, they ran away because of the strength of the peasants were great, and they could not tolerate, they could not control the peasants. So better they ran away. This incident has been mentioned in the page of history as Phulaguridhawa. Now you understand. I hope so that you will understand that Phulaguridhawa and Phulaguri is different. Phulaguri, name of a place. Dhawa, the attack upon the British officers by the peasants. So together Phulaguridhawa. It is named under Phulaguridhawa. That Dhawa is named under Phulaguri. So what happened after the incidents? Many peasants were arrested under the connecting with this events, with this Dhawa, by the authorities on the charge of the murder of Singer. Thousands were kept imprisoned in temporary jail in Raha and Phulaguri. As a result of the trial, Lakhan Deka, Songbhor Lalung and Rongbhor Deka were awarded death sentences. You can see that Babu Kaiwatra struck Singer, and he was the first to struck on the head of Singer. His name was not mentioned here. Instead, Lakhan Deka, Songbhor Lalung and Rongbhor Deka were awarded death sentence. Some of the accused peasants were sent away to Kolia Pani. Kolia Pani we call it in Hindi as Kala Pani. It is a jail which is situated in Andaman and Nicobar Island. In Andaman and Nicobar Island, it is an open jail. If the open jail between at the center of the Bay of Bengal, and if a prisoner wants to escape from the prison, he will not be able to escape it. How can he swim for thousands of kilometers to the mainland? So Kalapani. So the importance of Phulaguridhawa in history. Though the British authorities tried to dismiss the Phulaguridhawa as an ordinary revolt of the opium addicted peasants against the government banning poppy cultivation, in reality this revolt had a far-reaching consequences. British took it very lightly, but it was not light. The struggle, the peasants was not light. The revolt was not light. It was the first revolt, but it was not light. First, what was the point? Voluntary participation of all the section of the people. The lower section, Lalung, Tiwa, ethnic communities, and Kaiwatra community, fishing communities in this revolt gave in a mass character. The peasants were also successful in getting the support of other classes of people, though they were not directly involved, they directly supporting, but indirectly they were supporting. The middle class, exploited by the increase in land revenue, businessmen and some Mozaras, though indirectly extended their support to this rebel. The then Commissioner of Assam, Major Henry Hopkinson, admitted that if soldiers were not brought from the light infantry in Tezpur, that is 50 from in Tezpur and 80 soldiers from Guwahati, these revolt will have been brought to these soldiers were brought to suppress the revolt. It would have kept on spreading. As it goes on spreading, it will be very difficult to control it. Although it can be said that this revolt had been successful because after this the government never fixed any tax on Tamil Pan. Second, the Phulaguri revolt was an example of the common people attempting to free themselves from the clutches of the British imperialism. So it was a great emphasis, and the future peasants revolt that has been started in the later part of the century, of the 19th century, in Lower Assam, in Kamrup, in Darang, wherever it is, it was upon the initiatives, it was upon the inspiration of the peasants revolt of Phulaguridhawa. And from various part of the revolt, the Ahom monarchy, the aristocratic class also get the power and privilege under the British that had already taken part in the revolt, also join in this revolt. So I hope so you will understand. And this Phulaguri revolt attracted the attention of every section of the society. The decision of the public of Phulaguri not to pay any revenue can be termed as the first non-cooperation movement that we have started in chapter 2. Non-cooperation movement. It was for the first time the non-cooperation movement can be observed in Assam. Later on, this same mechanism was adopted by Mahatma Gandhi during the freedom struggle. So Mahatma Gandhi is not only the person who was the sole responsible for starting and giving a platform for non-cooperation movement. This non-cooperation type of movement was started by the people of Assam and also in India several decades earlier. What kind of non-cooperation? Not paying tax, not obeying the rules and regulation of the British government. So if we are not obeying any circumstances of the British government enacted by it, imposing by the British government, simply definitely it will take the shape of non-cooperation movement. Third point is that the Phulaguiri peasant revolt was an inspiration for the peasants of other part of Assam to think about the miseries in an organized manner, and the peasants of the other part of the Assam, they started to think that, and after few years later, the peasants of various areas of Darang and Kamrup district raised the banner of a series of revolt. One by one the revolt was started, the oppression and deprivation of the British government. So this was the revolt of Phulaguridhawa, that is Phulaguridhawa, as I mentioned earlier, and the importance. And in this way, in the later part of the discussion, I will discuss about the other events of the peasant revolt. Thank you, and I hope so that you will discuss with you. You will study the textbook thoroughly, try to understand, and over and over you watch my videos. And I hope so you will share these videos to the other students, to your classmates. Thank you.